Welcome to another episode of Operation American Dream. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs. This is such a great show that honors those who served and also for this great country that they fought for. Today we get to actually go to Denver and talk to some of our Synergy One lending partners in Denver. We're going to talk with a Paralympic professional snowboarder, and we've got some fun in-studio guests as we talk to the Wingman Foundation and also talk about our local law enforcement and how they're making a difference. So we're gonna have a really good time today. I'm excited to meet everybody, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome back to Operation American Dream. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs. I've got an awesome interview right now coming to you from our American Dream TV studio in the beautiful Synergy One Lending office of Denver, Colorado. I have right-footed Joe with a remarkable story. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how's it going, Amy? Thanks for having me.
Good, thank you. You are right-footed Joe, am I right?
Yes,
Okay,
that's me.
You're missing your left leg. I know that you brought to show us what you have, but you're a professional athlete snowboarder. Show me your foot.
Yeah, so this is the BioAdapt Versa foot. This is the foot I snowboard on. And actually, this was the foot that got shown to me by the veterans and the other people at Adaptive Action Sports, which is the team I ride for. It has this awesome hydraulic shock in it, gives a ton of shock absorption. I had no idea this existed until I was able to enter into the adaptive snowboard community, and it has changed my riding a ton. It's a very cool foot.
That's awesome. Well, now I look forward to you telling me your story about what happened to you, and share with me from the beginning.
Yeah, so I lost my left foot, hence the name, Right Foot Joe. I was right foot originally, so it worked out pretty well. When I was a kid, my family was incredibly active. I swam in high school, I played rugby through college, and I've been snowboarding my entire life. All of our family vacations were how many activities can we pack into a week? And so when I was diagnosed with pigmented villonodular synovitis, which is as rare as it is hard to say, it was definitely tough news. It kind of destroyed my left ankle. It left me with severe arthritis. I was walking around with a cane at the age of 22. And so the doctors said that they could fuse my ankle joint together, which means I wouldn't be able to move it. I would be able to run out of the way of a moving car, but that's about it as far as activities go.
Wow.
And so I asked them to actually just cut my foot off. I've seen people with prosthetics. I've seen veterans with prosthetics living very active lives. And I figured that's better than not being able to be active at all. So I ended up having my amputation when I was 22 or 23, about 4 years ago. It went smoothly, except that I did have a lot of nerve pain afterwards. I was under the impression that I would get my foot cut off and I'd go right into playing sports again. Unfortunately, I had a lot of fan pain. I ended up going through 2 nerve surgeries, with the second one being an experimental trial surgery, incredibly successful. I'm now on my feet, pun intended, snowboarding. I play rugby back in Virginia. I'm living an incredibly active life.
You've become a professional athlete, and I know that you are now, you're right there. I know we're keeping our fingers crossed because you're waiting to hear of making the Paralympic team, correct?
Hopefully, yeah. I don't want to make myself sound better than I am, but I'm hopefully right on the edge. We have a big competition coming up in Canada, beginning of February. That'll be competing, and that'll be the deciding factor there.
Well, I want to get to a heart of something that you and I have talked about before, and what I know where you're at, and what kind of the basis of this show has been, is honoring our military. And here you have quite a story where you can empathize with other of our veterans that have also lost a limb, lost multiple limbs, and now you're training with them. And I know that this has given you a whole new perspective, and you've had an opportunity where veterans have touched your life, where we're usually talking to guests who they're outreach and working with veterans. I want you to share what the perspective of these soldiers who have gone through a traumatic injury like you have, and what they have done to touch your life, and now how that's impacting you.
Yeah, certainly. So I race for Adaptive Action Sports up at Copper Mountain, Colorado, for disabled people who want to snowboard. And they have, I think, 4 or 5 veterans on the team now. Some of them are upper limb and are missing arms. Some are lower limb, missing legs. and they have been incredibly helpful to me. This is my first season trying snowboarding professionally in general, and these guys have been doing it for years. And as far as prosthetics go, as far as snowboarding in general goes, they have been incredibly helpful. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into the office and said, guys, I have no idea what to do with my foot right now because it feels really weird. I don't know if I can snowboard today. And they go, yeah, we'll set you up, no problem. Here, take this bolt, put it there, set your foot like this. We get on the slope, and then they're telling me how to turn correctly with my foot in the setting that's at. I go on for all day, but they've been incredibly helpful, not only with advice, but also just lending me parts. With the snowboarding and the level of activity, I punch holes through my sleeve. Loose suction becomes very hard to snowboard. They have lent me more sleeves than I can even count right now. I think I have a pile of sleeves in my room that they just give me. Because like, yeah, we got extra, go ahead and take it. They keep me on the snow pretty much.
So they've brought you into the brotherhood that you've noticed that they already have as military brothers, right? And
oh yeah,
you know, we're running short on time here, but I wanted you to really share with me what you see with that brotherhood now. Is that something you want to continue now doing as you move ahead with your professional career?
Certainly, yes, exactly. It's such a great feeling being around other amputees and around veterans who are familiar with being an amputee and are familiar with being an active amputee. And I definitely recommend anyone who's in that situation, who's injured, to find that support and outreach and be a part of that community, because I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to be around veterans who are active and who can bring me to that level of activity and really help me along the way.
What a great story. I love the brotherhood brought into it and how you've been impacted by them turning around and blessing you. I know you're going to pay it forward. We wish you the best of the luck with getting into the Paralympics and what you've got ahead. I think you've got an incredible future ahead. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with more Operation American Dream.
Johnny, you won! You won! Grandma?
There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't right! I know, but I wasn't right! I wasn't, you hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
Welcome back. We are once again in our beautiful studio in Denver, Colorado at our Synergy One lending office, where the American Dream TV is also being taped on a weekly basis. And we get to meet one of my Synergy One partners today, Nate Guilliot. He is with our Colorado Spring branch. We have only met on the phone, and I'm so excited to see you face to face. VA expert, Nate, great to meet you.
Great to meet you, Amy, as well. Good talking to you. Thank you.
It's really good to talk to you. I know that you have such a heart and passion for doing VA loans, and I want to talk about your background a little bit and your experience as a VA lender. But this hits really close to home for you because you don't, just have the patriotism in you. You also have military in your family. Why don't you touch on that a little bit real quick?
Yes, that's actually true. My wife actually is a veteran. My oldest son actually is delayed entry into the Air Force right now, and my brother is actually currently serving in the Air Force Reserve. So yes, it does hit quite close to home.
Were you with your wife when she served, or did you meet her later?
I met her after.
Okay.
Yes, she was in the Army and met her after she served.
So, but you get to hear all the stories and have her perspective on all of that.
Of course, I get to hear how tough she is because she completed boot camp and all that kind of stuff.
You can never win.
Oh, this is true. Very true.
Well, you're a branch manager in our Colorado Springs location, and you've been a mortgage professional for how long?
Going on 20 years now, so I've been in the mortgage business for quite a while.
So take the fact that you've got clearly family background in the military and your passion for that, your expertise in the VA loan, now where you're located in Colorado Springs. Tell me what it's like in that area and the impact of the veteran community that you have.
Well, the impact of the veteran community in Colorado Springs is massive. We have 5 different military installations in Colorado Springs representing the Army and the Air Force both. And so the population in Colorado Springs is heavily active duty and veteran. A lot of folks come serve in Colorado Springs and then end up retiring in Colorado Springs. So we have a heavy veteran presence there and a heavy active duty presence, obviously. The community in Colorado Springs is very savvy when it comes to recognizing our military and being very appreciative of their service and their sacrifice. And so we, at Synergy One, we want to try and do the same. We want to try and be very proactive in recognizing the service and sacrifice of our military personnel.
So there's a lot of great loan officers, in every company, especially in Synergy One Lending. We only hire professionals that really have been doing this for a long time. But not everybody is an expert in the VA field. There's a lot of questions that people have. There's a lot of misconceptions, I think, in the VA category. So tell me what it is and why you put yourself in that to make yourself an expert.
Well, I think it's because of the fact that the VA, in my opinion, there is no better loan, number one. If us civilian personnel could actually have access, it would do us well. But the VA loan is the best loan out there from the perspective of 100% financing, limited down payment requirements, no mortgage insurance requirements, all while still having competitive rates for the veterans. This allows them monthly savings that other loans don't readily offer. And so I think it's just a matter of a way to be able to give back to those who have placed their life on the line for us and for our freedoms, and those who are currently placing their life on the line for us and for our freedoms. And so not a better loan out there, in my opinion.
What are you guys doing to help educate your veteran community? Are you finding that a lot of them are really savvy and already understand, or do you find you have to do a lot to educate them on what those benefits are?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it depends. If you're dealing with a veteran that has been at multiple duty stations, a lot of times they've already gone through the purchase process to get a VA loan, and so therefore they kind of have a little bit more of an understanding. But if you're dealing with someone who hasn't been in the military for very long and maybe Colorado Springs is their first duty station, then yeah, there's a whole lot more education that you're able to provide. For example, the VA appraisal process. The VA appraisal process is designed to make sure that when that veteran moves into that home is as ready for that veteran as it possibly can be, that there's not chipped and peeling paint, that everything is painted as it should be, that the handrails going up the staircase are where they should be and they're attached like they should be, and the downspouts, are attached like they should be and flowing away from the property as they should be. So those things are very educational to someone who maybe it's their first duty station in Colorado Springs, and those are the things that we're able to help them out with so that they know they're getting into a good home at a great price and getting good rates and good financing to go along with it.
I love it. That was such great information, Nate. That's why you're an expert and why we are so proud to have you as a part of the Synergy One team. Excited about the things you're going to do there for our military families in the Colorado Springs area. And thank you so much for being on the show today. Look forward to lots ahead.
Thank you, Amy, for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks. We'll be back with more Operation American Dream.
Hey, Craig Sewing here, your host of The American Dream. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I want to invite you to engage in the conversation outside of the show. How do you do that? Visit us online and on social media. We have so much activity happening there. Full interviews, resources, all kinds of cool stuff that you can engage with us and our conversation and help support the American Dream, where we're combating all that negative stuff you see in the media. But don't forget, I also want to be your #1 consumer advocate, so anything we can help you with, finance, real estate, mortgage, tax planning, estate planning, even credit scoring, we have the resources and the relationships that we can help you. Visit us online, engage in the conversation on social media, and don't forget, we want to empower your American Dream, so reach out if you ever need anything. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, and thank you so much for following us on social media and engaging in the conversation. Cheers to your American Dream.
Welcome back to Operation American Dream. The Wingman Foundation is an incredible nonprofit organization that is making a tremendous difference in the lives of our heroes. I have got Ricky and Michael here to talk about it today. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on to share. I'm so excited to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
So, Ricky, I'm going to start with you because we talked first, and you were the touch point that I had when I asked you to come on. And tell me about, first of all, your background. You've served 25 years
Yes.
in the Marines.
I'm retired from the Marine Corps. I retired from the Marine Corps in 2015. I was an enlisted Marine for 17 years. I worked with the F-18s here at Miramar for a while. transitioned and became a B-22 Osprey
Wow.
maintenance officer and also combat air crew.
Did I see you did like 10 deployments?
I did 10 deployments.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, thank you for that.
We do our job.
Right, and Michael, same for you. How long in the service?
I spent 10 years on active duty, and then I'm in my third year now in the reserves. Started off as a CH-53 helicopter pilot, and then I transitioned to administrative officer and personnel officer management. So did all that, and only 2 deployments for me, not as long as Ricky here, but definitely one of the big things is I saw how dangerous aviation could be, but also how many lives are touched as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not a competition. That's what I always tell my kids, right? But you guys are here today to represent the Wingmen Foundation. And I really want to hear more about that because you guys are doing specific things. It started in 2014. I had fun reading up on what you guys are about, but it was coming from the heart of other active duty who said this is a need. One of you guys want to touch on what happened and how it came together.
Oh, the executive director.
Well, like you said, it started in 2014. It was after like a couple very, very tragic months for marine aviation, where we lost several aircraft, and every single person that's lost has their families are going to have to figure out what they need to get through the tragedy. And some of these had situations where the military, the government wasn't going to be able to cover all of it just based on the regulations. So Marines did what Marines have always done, is take care of our own and pass the hat around. And there's 3 guys who are on 3 different continents, basically figured out there's probably a better way we can do this, figured out what they needed to start a 501c3, like a legitimate nonprofit, so that way they can make it more legitimate instead of just trying to do ad hoc things to support people, actually make it so there was like a professional organization that could go ahead and do it. So as a all-volunteer nonprofit, that's what we've been able to do over the past several years.
Yeah, because you guys are volunteering and everybody else in the organization is volunteering.
Yes.
Basically what happened is they saw that there was a gap there in needs not getting met, and where you're seeing that the families of your brothers and sisters in the service that are having needs not getting met. Yeah. What kind of needs specifically? What are you guys doing that you can see as, oh my gosh, this is making a difference? Look what we were just able to do. Give me some examples.
Well, for example, I'm the director of operations, and I'm also the mishap response coordinator, which is a fancy way of saying when we respond to a mishap, I'll usually make the first contact and then coordinate with the command first, and then ultimately talk to the families, which will become Gold Star families.
Right.
For example, VRC-30 was the mishap that we dealt with on the latter part of 2017. C2 COD unfortunately had to go into the ocean. There were 3 fallen at that point. All different. One was a pilot, one was brand new to the Navy, one had been there for a while. 2 of them hadn't even been attached to their carrier yet. A lot of logistics to be done at that point, and really what it comes down to is the Navy and the Marine Corps. They have a finite amount of money to support this type of stuff, but there's a lot of peripheral family members. We all have people that are not blood related that we call family.
Sure.
Well, they need to be given the opportunity to memorialize and to maybe even go see where this mishap occurred. We simply just take care of all of that. So if somebody approaches the Wingman Foundation and they're part of that mishap and they need either a airline ticket, a place to stay, or just help on how to memorialize their friends, we do it all.
Those are logistics that most people don't think about, of realizing that was a need that was
and
there.
It's thousands and thousands of dollars instantly.
Oh, sure. And you guys are able to supply that now.
Yes.
Being nonprofit, you guys are bringing all the funds in, and it's all going right back to this need because you're volunteering. So you guys are able to see a difference made instantly without funds getting lost in admin, correct?
Yes, so one of the big things for us is that we pride ourselves on being an all-volunteer organization, but also being very effective with the money that we do raise. So right now, out of all the money that we've raised, we've been able to average over 97 cents of every dollar going directly to our programs, which are the mishap supports mainly. And then some of the other things, like when Ricky stated, like when there is a crash, we'll raise a specific fundraising page for that one incident, and 100% of all that money comes in. We'll cover the admin costs from the other fundraising that we do from general events or from donations that we get throughout the year, because we have some great supporters, but especially after a specific tragedy strikes, a lot of people just want to know how to help. And so we hope to be like the legitimate face of that, so that way that people know that they're entrusting their money to an organization that's going to be a responsible steward of it and make sure that the families get it.
Right, and people can see this is vetted, this is really going to the families in need. You guys are doing such an awesome job, and I hope that the viewers see and come on board to say, how can we support? People need to jump in, support what you guys are doing, spread the word. I'm real proud to be able to do this show that hopefully will spread the word further for what you guys have been able to do, and now, families up ahead that'll be able to have the opportunities to be blessed by your foundation. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you guys sharing the Wingman Foundation, and really wish you all the best in what's coming up ahead, and please keep us posted.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Ricky, Michael, thank you. We'll be back with more Operation American Dream.
We have a winner! Johnny, you won! You won!
Grandma?
There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't ready. I know, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't, you hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
Welcome back to Operation American Dream. Supporting our heroes always includes our first responders as well. And a lot of times our first responders are also bending over backwards to make a difference in the community. There's an incredible foundation called the Police Athletic League, and I've got Al Owens here with me today to talk about that. Al, you and I go way back, so it's really fun to have you here today. Thank you.
It's great to be here. Good afternoon.
I'm so excited to talk about the Police Athletic League because a lot of people are not aware of it, and you're such an expert, so I want to go right to the nuts and bolts. First, tell me about your background in law enforcement.
I'm back 21 years.
That's
Escondido
it?
Police Department. Just 21 years. That's it. And I was retired as a lieutenant from the Escondido Police Department.
Well, thank you. As
you.
a citizen up there, super appreciative that we've always had you out on the streets for us. But you've been involved with the Police Athletic League for quite some time. Tell me about what you guys have done locally and also what it does as a national organization.
Well, as a national organization, Police Athletic League has been around a long time, especially in New York and Detroit, where it's been very big.
I think I saw like 70 years.
Yeah,
It's
at
been
least
around,
70
something
years.
like that?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't even know how long. But the biggest thing is we try to build that bond between police officers in the community and kids that are at risk in the community. And that could be low-income gangs or risk for gangs. So in our community itself, I've been involved with the Police Athletic League now for 10 years. In fact, as you can see, I retired. I'm still working 40 or 50 hours a week.
You're never home.
It's almost, never home. It's almost like when you get a hold of it and you do it, it's like you almost can't let it go.
Yeah, it's your baby. So tell me exactly what you guys have done with the organization, what you're doing specifically for the lives of kids.
The biggest thing we do for the mentoring is really huge. We do have a sports basis. We have basketball, soccer, flag football. But the big thing is we like to mentor with these kids. We get into the communities, and they really need us there. I was thinking last night I was coaching, I have a girls' basketball team, seventh grade girls' basketball team, but the area we were at, I just took pictures of all the gang paraphernalia and that was right next to us, the graffiti right where we were practicing at, the broken beer bottles on the court where we were practicing. So these kids really need an outlet, and I'd like it to them to know that the police are their friends. So we like to get out there, as I say, mentor these kids. Another thing that we really do that has been big for us has been safety academies, what we do with these kids. Because it's one thing to say you don't need to be in gangs, but the kids need an avenue on how to get out of gangs. Okay, how do I avoid that? How do I be safe in this area and not be in part of a gang? And so we have safety academies that we do, and they're about a 6-hour program that we do with these kids. And at the end, we give them a nice medal, the one that I gave you at the beginning.
Yes, yes.
at the end, to show that they accomplished something.
And so I read in some statistics that show when kids are involved with you in this way, that it brings more of a respect and a relationship between them and the law enforcement, preventing from gangs. So where do you see that helps relationally with their respect for law enforcement?
I think the big thing is they get at a young age that we're friends. I've been in houses where kids are, they say the OGs, the original gangsters, and they teach their younger brothers and sisters to hate us, and that's sad. But they see us at a young age, and they're working with us, and they realize that, hey, these guys aren't so bad. They're actually our friends. And as they grow up, they learn to respect law enforcement, and it's amazing to see the kids, how they progress. I've had one kid, some of the bigger things I should say, we've had two kids. One kid in particular, he was a gang member right on the verge of gangs. He was right there, drugs, alcohol, you name it. But we worked with this kid for years, and he went from being a gang member, almost on the verge of gangs, to being a star athlete. Not only a star athlete, a star scholar athlete. at his school.
That's
which was-
incredible.
it's incredible. It's incredible when you see something like that. And we had another girl in particular who I went to her swearing-in ceremony as an attorney. She had been arrested before, and now she's an attorney. So
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Are you seeing also a difference of some of them choosing law enforcement later? Have you watched some of them choose to join you in law enforcement from being in this program?
Some of them want to, they're not old enough yet.
Right.
So we have one kid, the one kid I was talking about, the kid who went from there to wrestling star. I see him coming in law enforcement, I really do. He's just not old enough yet. So I told him, wait, I'll tell the kids, get your education first. As you can see on my symbol on my shirt, I have academics, first, always number one. In athletics, I tell kids, your gift. Not all you're gonna be athletic, but you might be speech, you might be something that, whatever it is that you're good at, you mix those two together and you get achievement, which is up on the top.
Well, you've been like the face of San Diego County for this organization, and I've seen a lot of our community partners, real estate partners, lending partners that have come in to support the organization. How many other law enforcement do you have working with you, even in the North County area, with this organization?
It's starting out slow. We're starting to get more and more to come in. Not a whole bunch yet. Like I said, I was the face, and I was the one that jumped it off and just took it off. I am getting more and more law enforcement officers right from Escondido that are working, which is very, very good. So I'm happy with that. Right now, I have maybe about 10 officers working with me, but that's great because
I think it's great.
I started out with a force of 1, and as we get more, that's going to be better.
Yeah, everybody knows about it up there. And what support do you have from the national organization then, as you partner in with other chapters?
We haven't partnered with a national organization as of yet. That's something that we're looking into. We have got a national award as of award for the program, the work that we're doing.
Congrats!
We're going to go to Washington D.C. in October. So
That's
I'm looking forward
huge.
to that. That's huge. That's huge. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations to
Thank
that
you.
and all the work that you've done. I know you've made such a difference in the lives of kids, and I know you made a difference in law enforcement all those years serving, so I thank you for that.
Thank
and I hope that our viewers know that you guys need support. You need funds, right?
That's right.
You need support.
We have a big fundraiser on February 10th at
Okay.
Elks Lodge in Escondido. Welcome to come up. Great raffle prizes, great time, dinner, dancing, everything else.
All right, that's awesome. We want to come support that.
Great.
Thank you, Al, for being on the show today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Operation American Dream.
Hey, Craig Sewing here. As you know, on the American Dream, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage your American Dream. Make sure you reach out if you ever need advice. Visit us online at americandreamnetwork.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
I had such a good time meeting all of our guests today, and I wanted to share I'm going to call it my Amy story of the week, but I had a neat experience this week that I was walking into a store as a cute old veteran was coming out in one of the little powered wheelchairs that comes out of the grocery store, and I almost didn't see him, and I stopped, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I smiled, and he just looked at me and he goes, that was a beautiful smile. Thank you so much. I needed that today. And it just reminded me that sometimes just a smile can make the difference in someone's life. In this instance, it was just one of our old heroes who needed a smile that day. And I just thought that was so cute. And I wanted to share, maybe just smile sometimes and it can make a difference. Remember to follow our shows on American Dream TV. Check us out on social media. See all of the great segments and guests that we have coming up. 2018 is going to be awesome. And don't forget to tell your friends to check out the next episode of Operation American Dream.